Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been forever since I sat down and done a homeschool video, but today we're talking all about homeschool plans for the spring. Spring is here and I'm super excited. So I've been spending the past few days, almost a week, just planning out different activities that I can do with the kids, how homeschool will be changing for us, field trips, what else, am I missing something? Just more outside time and things of that nature. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing all of our little plans that we'll be doing to enjoy the spring. I don't know about y'all, but when the spring comes, whenever it gets warm outside, like I just want to be outside more. It gives me life, the fresh air, I don't know, like the sound of the birds and all of the animals, seeing the new flowers, trying to identify the plants and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but it gives me life, right? So today I'll be talking about, as I said, our homeschool plans. I feel like I said it 3 times now, but yeah, let's get into it. I have everything in my phone. But if you're new here, I'm Shadiamond, homeschool mom to a 6'4" and 1-year-old. And if you're interested in like what grade level they're on, you know, with homeschooling, you don't really stick to like level K stuff, level 1 stuff, level 2 stuff. It's more so where your child is. So for my girls, I have a 6-year-old, she's doing 2nd, a little bit of 3rd work. And for my 4-year-old, she just moved over to 1st grade, pretty much on all levels. So that's a little bit about that, right? So yeah, some of the things that I really want to do for the spring, just in general, is spend more time outside, discover, learn more nature walks and things of that nature. I do have a 1-year-old, you know, son, and he's very busy, right? And I also just want my children to just enjoy the time outside. It's warm. They can run, they can play, they can discover, they can monitor different things, see different bugs, you know, look in the ponds for little tadpoles and, you know, all of those things, right? And so I'm a big fan of seeing the things in person. If I had a chance between choosing looking in the books and sitting in person, I always go in person. And I feel like if you see something in person, it'll intrigue them. We can do more research on it. I can always give them more information, and then we can look in the book and see and kind of like compare the two. So that's just my take on that. We've already been looking at the trees, you know, the blossoms and things of that nature that are already growing. So like one week we saw the tree with absolutely no leaves at all. The next week all of the trees were white, and then the next week the trees are all green. So it's been interesting just watching those changes organically, not looking in a book, not looking in the curriculum and things of that nature. So that's the first thing I want to do, just spend more time outside discovering and learning about nature. So the second thing I would love to do is take our lessons out to the park, right? So okay, so I had a call, y'all, but the second thing I would love to do is take our lessons to the park. So we typically focus on like the basics, like math and language arts, and so I want to like spend like our mornings at the park where we pack up our, you know, work or whatever, and kind of do like a picnic, do our work first, let them play, have lunch, you know, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, just, you know, I don't know, like either that, taking the work to the park, or also like finding a way to adjust it to where we can get it done at the park, covering the same topics without bringing anything. So I'm going to think a little bit more on that. That's what I have so far. I just would like to be out of the house as much as we can, because why not? Like, why not? So the next thing I have on my list is more field trips, of course. Y'all know what I said about the warm weather. So I have a few things that I want to, a few places that I want to go and do things that, right, you know, sightsee, learn. A lot of these places have educational resources, educational field trips or guides and things of that nature. So on my list I have our local nature center, where we can go do bird watching and stuff like that. I have not went down there before, but they say it's a free membership if we stay in the community, so I'm going to try that out. The botanical gardens, this is free, of course. I think every city maybe have a botanical gardens, I'm not sure, but this is an amazing resource. I know ours locally have story time in the spring as well, so I'm excited to get into that. It's not going to start until next month though. So yeah, the nature center, the botanical gardens, the zoo. during the springtime, we know that a lot of baby animals are coming into the world, are being born. So I'm excited about just getting out, you know, exploring and talking about what animals are born in the spring, and what to expect and things of that nature. The next thing I have is a family farm. So there is a black family here that has their own farm. It's kind of like a teacher farm, or you know, kind of, they set it up like a petting zoo or whatever. So they go to different places and bring the animals, or you can also go to the actual farm and they have classes and things of that nature that we can do. So your hands are dirty. Hey, can you bring me a wipe? Things that you can do. So I'm looking forward to go get a wipe from Eliana. So I'm looking forward to going to the family farm. Next week they have something at the local library. Let me see. So I'm excited to do that. The next thing I have is the local nurseries or garden centers at different stores. So I know Home Depot has something. So just going into stores. My goal for us this summer is to learn more about the plants, the flower names and stuff like that. I'm very interested in that. So I feel like the kids will learn before I will, because they just pick up on stuff so quick. But I'm really interested in learning more about plants and flowers and their names, like naming them by name. So that's something that I want to do. I also want to go to this teacher farm. So I talked about the family farm with the animals, but I want to go to a teacher farm where you grow plants. And we went last year. I do have a vlog on that, so I'll link that video. Last year we were just walking around. Oh wow. It's a red butterfly. Last year we were just looking around. We didn't have a guide. Yes, we didn't have a tour or anything like that, but this time we're going to actually register and schedule a tour so they can actually tell us about the place, and how we can get involved, right? They also have apple. This is a pink flower. They also have, yes, they also have like the course of study for the Alabama, so they can cover different standards. They have one for kindergarten to second grade. They have one for third through sixth grade. And so depending on the age of your child, you can just ask for specific things, right? So we're going to do that as well. And then what else do I have on my list for places to go? I also have the library, of course. We go to the library weekly anyway. But I just want to continue to, you know, have it in the loop to see what activities they have. Like this morning, I registered for a art activity at the library where they're going to be painting a birdhouse. So it's a lot of things that the library does. Sometimes they have activities outside. So you just have to check your local library. And I'm learning that the one I usually go to doesn't have as much as other libraries. So I visited a new library, I want to say last week. The girls did a homeschool hour. It was an art class that I knew nothing about. But that's the beauty of networking with other homeschool moms, talking to other homeschool moms. They give you, you know, those details. So I'm appreciative that I am growing a community of homeschool moms that are willing to share, that are willing to help, right? And that are willing to grow together, you know, to share resources and to share and help each other on our homeschool journey. The next thing I have down is the art museum. I'm not sure what they really do during the springtime, but I feel like, you know, they'll have some type of flowers or something spring related on display. So I'm just going to check that out, just because usually, you know, it's free to go to the art museums and stuff like that. So I think that's all I have. I do have something called DeSoto Caverns, where it's like dealing with caves and stuff, like stones and stuff like that. It's not necessarily spring related, but it's someplace I want to go. You are putting almond butter on me. It's someplace I want to go with the kids. So that's what we have right now. I just add more to it as I figure out where else I want to go. But so far, that's what we have. The next thing I have on my list to talk about is the spring books. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can see it. Y'all cannot see it. But of course, I went and checked out some books. So I have this stack right here. And this morning, I just checked out placed on hold about 15 books. You know, I've done a lot of research, what books of spring, this and that, different topics on birds, flowers, gardening, rain, baby animals in the springtime. What else? I feel like I covered the main things I want. Oh, bugs and insects, of course. What else? Let's see. Oh, flying a kite, so kite related. Also the puns, so like tadpoles, frogs, things of that nature. Those are some topics I want to cover with the girls. Okay, so right now I do have a video from last year where I shared the spring books that we used, but right now I have a few books. I'm going to do a separate video on all the spring books, so if you want to see that, let me know in the comments and I'll try to do a dedicated video. If y'all just want to see the cover of the books, I can do it in a short, so just let me know. Okay, I'm going to give like a brief little overview, and then I'm going to try to link these on my website as well, so you can just go, you know, through a blog post to see what books are what and stuff like that. So the first book I picked up, mind you, I haven't looked through this book yet. Let's see. The first book I have is Bugs for Kids. So this one is like a STEM book. Is it a STEM book? It said 20 family-friendly activities for exploring the amazing world of beetles, butterflies, spiders, and other arthropods. So these are activities for STEM learners. So I'm going to take a peek at this. My girls love, you know, anything STEM related. So this is the first thing I picked up. This was on display at the library. So, you know, that's that. This one is not spring related. I also picked up this called Log Life. Is this about spring? I don't think so. Oh, it goes through all of the seasons. So, yeah. This one goes through all of the seasons. Haven't read it yet, but this is called Log Life. So I picked it up. These are on display. This one is called Bloom Bloom. This is just real photographs of things happening in the springtime. So very detailed pictures as well, like when the flowers bloom. Ooh, it's not good, but hopefully you can see a little bit. Very simple, maybe like 3 to 4 words on each page, but they're real photographs that somebody actually took of the process of what happens in spring. So that's a good one. I also got a lot of nonfiction books. So this one is Let's Look at Spring. And this one is just giving, you know, different things. So table contents said animals in spring, plants in spring, it's spring, and what's next. So kind of just giving them a little bit of information, bite-sized information that they can digest. Talking about the spring, where the plants grow, animals. So this is about birds, sheep, and what happens in the spring. The plants grow, tulips bloom, grass grows, bees buzz over the flowers, plants are being planted on farms. What's next? Summer, right? So that's one. I got another nonfiction spring book that's a beginner reader for my 4-year-old. This one is one that my librarian gave me. It's called Fletcher in the Springtime Blossoms. So this is a really good one. I read this one. It's super fun, where the animals were preparing for spring, but then Fletcher saw something white on the ground and he thought that it was snow, and so he went and told all of the animals that just came out of hibernation that the snow is back, they need to go back and hide and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting book, really fun for young learners. So that's that. I also picked up this one, My First Indoor Garden. You know, I don't know, haven't looked at it yet. Another nonfiction book, just like a beginner reader. Very simple sentences, real images. Yeah, so if you have a beginner reader, these little books, very simple for them to read. 2-word sentences, 3-word sentences, and it gives them an overall view of what happens in the spring. So love that. And then these books right here, I posted about last year, Diary of a Worm, really cute story. Give Bees a Chance, talking all about bees and all that. And the last one that I have right now is Bugs A to Z. So, you know, in the springtime, we start to see bees, butterflies, bugs, all the things that was not here in the winter. And so, you know, for your children to identify, it's really good to get books so they can learn through books, learn through literature, and also they can be able to build upon that, right? So something I'm going to do with the books that I don't usually do is I'm going to actually what is it called, like do a story mapping. So like specifically bring out the details in the story to break down the book. So I think I have something that I could show. So like I grabbed this little chart right here from the Target dollar spot, and I don't really use it, honestly, y'all. I really don't, but I would like to use it. So it came with, well, I bought like some reading inserts as well as some math inserts. And so for some of the reading inserts, it has like draw conclusions, what does the author tell me, what I already know, my conclusion, informative writing, so getting started with writing. We have the topic, the main idea, supporting details. We haven't got there yet, but I do want to introduce this. We have the who, what, when, why, planning your story, timelines, outlines. Also, we have something on the setting of the story, the problem, what happened, the solution, stuff like that. So I just want to be very intentional with that. Oh, this is what. Also talking about characters, so who is the character, what does the character do, what this shows about the character. Also a story map, the setting, the plot, and all of that. So I'm excited to actually use this. I don't use it like that, but if I do something like at the park with other homeschool families, I think this would be a great teaching tool for all of the kids, just sitting on the table and have whoever come up and write it out. That's my ideas. I'll share that in another video. So yeah, I'll share that in another video that I probably will be starting my own homeschool group. I'm super excited about that. More details to come as I work out the details, how I want it to be, you know, all of that. I'm excited because I really want a group that supports like the style of learning that I do with my girls, kind of also helping people get started with homeschooling and just, you know, giving people a way to socialize their kids in a safe and respectful environment. Right, it's gonna be very important if I do start one. Like, you know, I don't know, you know. So I'll give more details about that if y'all interested in seeing the journey of me starting it and all of that. Let me know. The next thing I have on the list, I talked about a few spring books and then I checked out a lot more from the library. I have like 15 more, y'all. So I'm gonna share a full video on that. But the next thing I have that I'm gonna be utilizing is books. And I shared about books in one of my videos on my favorite free homeschool resources, so I can link that video for you to watch. But books is a animated storybooks app where they take books, real books, and animate it. It's read to them. They also have something in the app where they're able to narrate their own books, so read it themselves and then play it back in their own voices, which is super exciting for them. My girls have been enjoying that feature. They also have different activities for some of the books. So say for instance, I watched a book this morning related to spring and they had a coloring sheet. They have questions that you can ask. They also have like sequences, so what happened first in the story. It depends on the book, but books is a great resource for your children if they have tablets, or you know, even do it on your laptop. Like I have something pulled up now about a story. Probably won't be able to see this, but no, you can't see that. But anywho, it gives you information about the story, things to ask, questions, stuff like that. I think it was designed to use in the classroom, but for homeschoolers, we can definitely benefit from this. So that's another thing I have. There are also some other like audiobook apps and stuff like that that can be utilized. The next thing I have on my list is unit studies. So I want to get into nature studies a little more. So I may find different things on, you know, the topics I talked about, like birds and plants, flowers, things of that nature. I haven't purchased any just yet. I don't know if I want to piece things together. I know I want to create spring printables for the preschool age children and probably like beginner math in like starting to read. I want to do those type of resources as well as flashcards that match the different things. So I do have that in the works. Just in case anybody are interested, you know, just let me know that as well. And then I have gardening. So I don't know if I want to start a garden, either indoor garden or something we can put on our porch, or just start growing flowers from scratch. It's very exciting for kids when they're able to see things go from a seed to a plant or whatever it is, or starting from a seed to a flower. Well, that's kind of the same, but anywho, so we did that last year and it's very fun. You know, teaches kids patience and how to care for things, how to water things daily. It takes them through the life cycle of that plant. So it's more than just reading about it. It's actually taking them through the process. You know, there are a lot of things that you can document, a lot of fun things you can do with that. So we'll probably be doing that. Not sure what we'll be growing though. I do have someone who has, you know, opened up her garden to us for the kids to go plant something there. We're also looking into community gardens where you can go at that specific location and start your own garden or whatever. So I'm looking into different options. Just in case if one doesn't work out, we'll have another one on standby. And then the last thing I have as far as spring is outside fun. So I need to go pick up some things for spring. Some kites, right? The girls have never had a kite before, so I'm excited. I haven't flown a kite since I was a child, so I'm excited to do this with them. So hopefully we can find some good ones. I do know Target has some kites, and just excuse my son in the background. I also want to get some bubbles, also some sidewalk chalk. I also want to get some bug catching kits. They do have those currently at the Target dollar spot with the magnifying glass, the tweezers, the bag to store the bugs. Well, not a bag, but like the container, and things of that nature. I also want to get some balls, you know, for gross motor play, you know, kicking, soccer ball, well, kickball, you know, stuff like that. I also want to get some art supplies. So I mentioned that I want to start a homeschool group, and the first thing I want to do, whether I want to do a group or not, is to art at the park. So host, like, say for instance we're covering butterflies or bees or birds, right? Having art supplies where the kids are able to actually see like the topic on display. So like what is it called, one of those display boards or whatever the case may be, having different information on that. Also having a book to read for story time, and as well as doing an activity or craft related to that. So it can be painting, it can be cutting and gluing, it can be maybe sidewalk chalk or whatever the case may be. But those are some things that I have in mind for the springtime. Super excited that it's warm and that so many things are being made available. This is like one of my favorite seasons, y'all, besides all of the rain. But the temperature of seeing the new things, the plants and stuff come to life again, it's amazing. So I think that's all I have for the springtime. I think that's all I have for the springtime. Is that all I have for springtime? I don't know, but so far that's what I got. I can always do a part 2 if something else comes up. Yeah, I was trying to do a new look for the video. But this is not it. This is not it. It's cute, but it's not functional to sit down there. If y'all have any questions, let me know in the comments. What are you doing for spring? Do you have special plans? Are you into unit studies? Are you doing any special field trips? Do you need help with planning things out for spring? Let me know that, and I'll be sure to respond in the comments, or if it's a lot of like questions, I could do a dedicated video for that. But as always, guys, it's the end of this video. I'll see you guys in my next one.